Ever since Burna Boy actually bought his car, McLaren Senna, a lot of people are now raising some kind of dust about it, and I think there is a tension in the camp of Burna Boy and Davido. That is something I kind of understand. Burna Boy's guard actually said something. Who the fuck is Davido? Based on the post he made on social media, snapping with the car, and a lot of people are now coming after this guy, and then Cubana Chief Priest made also a comment saying that Burna Boy's car should not be found in Lagos Road because it's not meant for Lagos Road. Too low. Most of the part of the Lagos this thing is really flooded right now in this rainy season. And he posted a video of that is trending on social media. A lot of people came out, Cubana Chief Priest, and said a lot of things about this whole thing that he needs to like keep quiet. But you should also understand that it was all started by a guard of Burna Boy, and that person needs to be cautioned if something like tension should not start. And then I have to commend Burna Boy because it is an expensive car that Burna Boy bought, and you need to understand something about the car. But Davido is really buying a future car for himself. That is a Maybach 680 SL 2026. That is actually massive, although it's not expensive to that of compared to that of Burna Boy. So that is something I need to talk about, and I still need to give you the reason why Burna Boy car is so expensive, so that you will get to understand it from a different point of view. Before I jump in, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos, and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos. Based on the issue of Burna Boy's car McLaren that he bought over 3.2 or so billion naira, that is actually massive. More than $2 million was spent on that car and lifted from wherever they actually produced that car to Nigeria by Turkish airline. That is really massive and a big win for Burna Boy. So a lot of people are now comparing Burna Boy to Davido and saying all those kind of financial things, who is richer and all those things. Davido is wealthy. That is something you need to understand. Burna Boy is rich. Burna Boy may actually spend a lot. They may decide to spend all their money, but Davido will not be broke because he is wealthy. He came from a wealthy background. I want to actually make you to understand these things so that you will stop this issue of comparison. So the Adeleke, they are wealthy. That is, they have a system that makes every member of the family rich. So you need to actually understand that as far back in the 1970s, they already bought houses in US, the family of Adeleke. So understand it. And a lot of people are quick to say, "Na im papa money job." So when you get money, not allow your children to enjoy your money, so that we will now understand that that is the principle of life. So you got to understand this particular thing. I'm not trying to measure that Burna Boy is not rich. Burna Boy is a rich artist, one of the highest earning artists in Nigeria in 2025. Based on touring revenue, Burna Boy is massively rich, having over $50 million from tour. That is actually massive based on record and statistics out there. You got to understand that Burna Boy actually spent over $2 million on getting a McLaren, Senna car. And that car is not just an ordinary McLaren. That is something you got to understand. It was built with carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is far more expensive than steel iron because it does not rust and is light-weighted. That is what they use in the making of aircraft. Because the aircraft has to lift so that it will not be too heavy for the aircraft and all those things. That is something you got to understand about this. And a lot of people are now talking about it. And actually, that car is not built for Lagos Road. That is something I have to be honest about that, because most of the part of Lagos is being flooded by now this rainy season. I don't know how the drainage are in Lagos and all those things. Maybe because of where Lagos is located, close to the Atlantic Ocean, during the rainy season, the ocean rises, and then part of Lagos will be flooded. So that is something you got to understand about that. But Burna Boy is a rich artist, but Davido is a wealthy artist because he came from a wealthy home. Being a board member of Pacific Holdings that has over 5 generation plants, one of them which was completed in January or February that worth over $2 billion is really massive to an extent. That is something you got to understand. This guy is a member. Even though he stops making music today, he is still rich. That is something you got to understand about that. So let us stop comparing who get money pass and all these things. Let's start looking at the impact Burna Boy is making in the music scene. Burna Boy has actually done a lot in the music scene, and also Davido has done a lot in the music industry. And we got the likes of Whiskey has done a lot of massive impact in the music scene. So Davido has said that, yes, you know what? I don't buy one car. That is the video making around on social media right now. This car is two-seater Maybach 680 SL, and that car is put at, customization is put at 750,000 US dollars. That is over 1 point something billion, naira, compared to that of Burna Boy, which is 3 billion naira. So a lot of people are now having this kind of back and forth and all those things. Not be by buying an expensive car they make person rich. Oh. We got the likes of Tony Elumelu. They not they use the car of the Burna Boy. We got Dangote, we see they use over 2014 G Wagon and all those kind of things. Does it mean that it's not rich? So everybody has their own priority. Burna Boy is a car lover. He loves, having these car collections and all those things. And based on history, those people that does car collection thing and all those things, then they broke last. If they don't realize quick, that is something I got to understand. It happens to the likes of T-Pain and a lot of others. That is something you got to understand about that. Davido has paid for 2026 Maybach. We did 2025. This guy want to drive a car of the future. They are still like, kind of trying to update the car finish. That is something I got to understand about that. But Davido is the only Nigerian artist that has a private jet at his disposal. A lot of people will say, "Now, in Papa private jet," but he uses it anytime he wants to use it. They pay for it. Now, company money go come pay for all those things. So that is something we need to respect. But it's like there's a tension in the camp of Burna Boy because it was actually started by a guard of Burna Boy who said something about Davido. I didn't like what he said about Davido. Not be say your oga buy car. Yes, be happy for your oga. So don't start throwing drama. According to what he said, who the fuck is David? And based on what you've seen on the screen, and Cubana Chief Priest said something about Burna Boy's car and all those things. So you should not blame Cubana Chief Priest. Somebody started it. And Cubana Chief Priest went ahead to say, them they buy car, but OBO they use in private jet like boats. $80 million bed, and he they fly steady. Talk anyhow, make it land for your head. That is coming in from Cubana Chief Priest. I know that this beef is really going on. Davido has over a $75 million private jet at his own disposal. He can use it to fly anywhere he wants. Now him partly get up based on what I really understand about that. So a lot of people, we need not be making noise around this and saying that this one get money pass and all those things. When you talk about money, the video came from Adeleke. By virtue of that, Adeleke should be put out to more than $5 to $4 billion based on the current, net worth. That is something I feel. Owning kind of over 4 to 5 power plants, generating 20% of electricity that is being used in West Africa. That is actually massive to an extent, and we got to commend the family of Adeleke. So make we just put this money aside, focus on what they are contributing to Nigeria. Burna Boy is doing a lot for Nigeria. David is doing a lot for Nigeria. We got the likes of Whiskey doing a lot for Nigeria, and we got to commend these guys. Let us stop this kind of issue of conflict. But based on my own opinion, the recent conflict between Davido and Burna Boy was started from the camp of Burna Boy. What is your own take about this? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section so that we can have a glimpse at what you feel. Before I jump off, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos.